Yes, people. Welcome back to another video or live stream on the channel. Hope everyone is doing well, man. We are back live, first stream of the day, first of two streams today. So today we're doing two streams. One's about transfers and one is about Arne Slot. Should he still get the sacking, etc. We will be live at 3 o'clock with Quasi later today. He'll be making the debut on the channel. So yeah, blessed to everybody. Hope everyone is doing well. And yeah, man, we're gonna be talking transfers today. Is the Semenyo deal advanced? Question mark. Because there's a couple of clubs that are interested. So it's gonna be very interesting. And also personal terms agreed according to a couple of people. And also there's a couple of Fabrizio Romano updates that we're going to be going over regarding Mohamed Salah. So yeah, make sure you fasten your seatbelts, smash a like on the channel, subscribe if you are new. So coming from the empire of the cop, Liverpool are understood to have agreed personal terms with Antoine Semenyo, whilst also matching Manchester City's offer to the Bournemouth forward. IndyCar reporting this. Look, I think before I give you my opinion on it, I think this deal will happen. And I think, as I mentioned this on a stream, I can't remember where and what it was. I think Liverpool have potentially got ahead of 2-3 deals in the books, if I'm honest. I think Liverpool have 2-3 deals in the books, and I think one of them is Antoine Semenyo. I mean, look, there's definitely a couple of clubs who are interested. I'm not saying it's impossible for anyone to sign him, but I do think he will become a Liverpool player. I mean, this morning Sky Sports were reporting that both Man United and Man City are firmly in the race for Semenyo, and they are the strongest rivals. So Tottenham insiders believe Man City are the current leading contenders. Liverpool have been being keen on the player. And then obviously you got other people saying that we reported personal terms. The reason why I believe Indy on this one is because, to be fair to him, when it comes to Liverpool news, he's never really wrong. When it comes to Liverpool news, he does tend to get it correct majority of the time. And I think Liverpool wanted to get this deal done in the summer, but I think they wanted to also wait until January because of the release clause, because to see how much he would have developed since the summer. Would they still have a strong interest in him come the January window? I think that's another reason as to why they probably wanted to wait. And also, considering they have just done 420 plus million, they would want to at least see a return or at least see some performances out of the current players they brought before buying in any more attackers. Also, Team Talk have also said that Man City are in advanced talks with Semenyo and personal terms will easily be agreed. So it's definitely a battle between Man City and Liverpool for the player. I mean, look, it's a race that I think Liverpool will win. Because we've heard Fabrizio Romano talk about Liverpool as well, with the Semenyo thing, I just can't see a world where this deal surely just does not happen. Surely this deal will end up happening, because who else are we really going to realistically get on the left-hand side? Because there's a couple of players I'm definitely going to take, i.e. your Anthony Gordons, your Bradley Bacolas, etc. But they're going to probably cost you 30-40% more of what Semenyo is going to cost. And I feel like they're harder deals to do. Semenyo is probably one of the easiest deals to get done, because he's got a release clause of 60-65 million, which isn't going to be too difficult. And I feel like if you are a Liverpool or a Bournemouth, you can very much just come into Bournemouth, pay the release clause, and Bournemouth ultimately cannot do anything about the deal. And also, the release clause, funny enough, chat, actually gets cheaper as it goes along. The release clause would actually be 50 million, sorry. I wish it would be 20 million, 50 million if it gets to the summer. So again, we'll have to wait and see regarding that. Let's go through some of your comments. Big up to Dad says first. Big up React says Curtis definitely need 2-3 players in January. 100%. 100% Liverpool definitely do need players in January. Semenyo on the centre back Curtis we need. Yep. Then we get a midfielder in the summer IMO. Mate, why not get a midfielder now? Big up the men's. And well, thanks. And you react. Yeah, I'm doing good, mate. I am doing fantastic. I mean, look, if it's up to me, chat, I'm getting this. If you want Semenyo, just get it done now. Just get the deal done. Let's not even faff or waste any sort of remote time. I believe Liverpool. When it comes to personal terms, I don't buy into the excitement of personal terms anymore. And what I mean by that, do you know when like you hear by excuse me, chat, I'm actually really tired today, I don't know why. Do you know when you hear from journalists, you hear our personal terms have agreed with the player? I don't really buy into it anymore because for me, it's not what it was. It's very rare you don't reach personal terms with a player. It's very, very rare. You just don't, reach personal terms with the player. It's just very rare. Do you know what I mean? Very, very rare. Bless up to everybody though. And also, Man City are also currently in the race. I think the top two favourites are Man City and Liverpool. When I look at other teams as well, Manchester United are also now in the race, yeah. When I look at the other teams, excuse me, chat, excuse me, I do apologise. Right? When you do look at the other teams that are in the race, I think I don't buy into it because how many times have we seen Liverpool reach personal terms with a player and not get the deal done? How many times have we seen Liverpool do a deal in personal terms haven't been agreed? I mean, the prime example was Martin Zubimendi, which didn't get personal terms agreed with him. Do you know what I mean? So when it comes to the whole personal terms, etc., I don't buy into any of that remote factor, if I'm being truly honest. I think a lot of it's just a complete farce, if I'm being truly fair. I think a lot of people overgas it. I'd rather see Liverpool see if they can actually reach a deal with a club before actually doing personal terms. It's very rare you get rejected on the personal terms, especially being Liverpool Football Club. Yeah, a player might have a preferred destination, but if you're in the race, it's very likely, when do Liverpool ever really get turned down? I mean, I say that we have been turned down massively over the years. However, when it comes to, in the recent years under this new model, we've not really been turned down as much. And, if Liverpool get in ahead of the curve, they get the deal done. I feel like the reason as to why we didn't get the likes of Jude Bellingham and Shermany, I actually don't think we just didn't try really hard enough. I think we should have got them the deals a summer before, if I'm being truly honest. Big up, bro. Like and subscribe. Semenyo, personal terms or what? Yeah, we're just going through a couple of reports. People saying personal terms agreed. Just giving my true opinions. Look, I don't mind Semenyo as a player, by the way. Now, I know I said, if any of you have seen Uncle Rod's show last night, I said, me personally, I think there's a lot of better players out there. I think you can get for the value. I think for the value of what Semenyo will cost, I think there's better players out there. That's nothing on Semenyo as a player, by the way. There's nothing on him. And I've also openly stated, I think for the value of how much Semenyo is going to cost, I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's a bad deal. However, right? Semenyo is going to cost you, what, 60, 65 million. The way you have to look at it is, can you get anyone cheaper than that for the value of Semenyo? Probably not. Probably not, you can't. Right? Because if anyone likes Brady Barcola, he's probably going to cost you 90 million. Yeah? Rodrigo, probably 80, 90 million. Anthony Gordon, probably, I mean, with it being Liverpool, it'd probably be an even harder, difficult deal to do. Probably out of the four. That'll probably want to be one of the difficult deals to do. I think it'd be a hard, difficult deal to do. And, you know, it depends on how much you also weigh up those players as well. For me, I would have a Barcola over Semenyo. I would have a Rodrigo over Semenyo. I'd have a lot of players over Semenyo. And I sat and deeped after Uncle's show last night. Look, if Semenyo comes to Liverpool, I will happily back him. I will happily support him because he's coming to my club. However, that doesn't mean I agree with the deal. I think for 65 million, for what you're paying, in terms of what Liverpool needs, I don't think it's too bad. He's just not my first choice. And that's okay, though. That is completely okay for him to not be my first choice. Big up to Antico, lads. Subscribe and like. Yeah, mate. Make sure you're subscribing and liking, chat. We're literally one fucking sub from 2,500. You know, 2,500 from it. So if you haven't already subscribed, make sure you don't know subscribed. Do you get it? So big up to Captain Fletch. Big up to you, my bro. Let me know if you're free to come on, or I can't remember what you said in the text. Bless up to you, my G. Bless up to you. Hope you're doing well, my bro. Make sure you subscribe to Captain Fletch, guys. He is on the road to 1K subs. I believe he's actually quite close to getting there. So hopefully he gets there maybe towards the end of the year. So big up to you, IG. Big up. But yeah, big up to everyone in the chat, man. How's everyone feeling about Semenyo? Real talk. For me, just not for me, if I'm being honest. And that's fine. That is absolutely fine. I'd rather, there's a couple of players, like I said, I'd have over him. Do you know what I mean? Did I send you the link, Captain Fletch? Did I send you the link? Because I will get the link over to you. I can't remember if I sent you the link. Don't think so. Let me get the link. And I'll send it to you over on Twitter. Big up to everybody in the building. 14 of you in the building, man. Let me get this link in. Bosh. Right, I've sent you the link, my guys. So just join whenever you can, mate. Big up to you, lad. We might be having another debut on the channel. Let me go to my bookmarks. But yeah, this is what IndyCar News has also stated. He said the following, exclusive. So he said this 2 days ago. Exclusive, Liverpool have officially opened talks with Bournemouth regarding Antonio Semenyo's payment structure. Mo Salah was informed during his peace talks that the club planned to sign a winger who can play on both sides. I mean, look, I've heard a few people talk about what would you do if this was Salah's replacement. If Semenyo was Salah's replacement, I'll be heavily concerned. But yeah, chat, get ready to welcome. Big up to Captain Fletch. He's on the road to 1,000 subs. I think this is his debut on the channel. I cannot remember. Big up to you, bro.
Thanks for having me on, man. Really appreciate it. I know we tried to talk about this for a little bit, but yeah, I really appreciate you having me on, man. Hopefully it's going to be a good show.
Yeah, man. I feel like I can't remember. I feel like you've been on before, though. I genuinely can't remember.
I don't think so. I think this is my debut, so hopefully I don't disappoint. But yeah, I don't remember being on before. I think I've been in the chat multiple times. I know that, but I don't think I've actually been on the show before.
Yeah. One of my mods, if not, I'll put it in the title and the description of your channel for you, mate. So because we got,
thank you.
Yeah, hopefully we can get you to 1K before Christmas. So yeah, that would be
getting close.
Yeah, big up to you, bro. So yeah, man, we're just kind of talking about transfers and stuff like that. I feel like the first question I do want to ask you is, what do you think of Liverpool's transfers right now? Do you think it's mad that they're already thinking about transfers, considering we spent over 400 million in the summer, and now we're debating whether we need to spend more again?
I mean, when you put it that way, the money aspect, the financial, the numbers, it does sound mad when we say that. And I know rival fans especially will consider it to be mad. But I left that transfer window in the summer and I went, we've got what we need for now. Gahey would have been the cherry on top of the cake because obviously we're kind of lacking in depth in that centre-back area. I left that January transfer window going, perfect for now. We can go back for Gahey in January. We should see out the season as Premier League champions. Obviously, that's not how it's kind of planned out right now. I like the idea of Semenyo, but I don't think it's what we need because I was looking at the centre-back options and thinking we need depth there. I'm also looking at the midfield right now and going, McAllister's kind of worrying me a little bit. Gravenberch is worrying me slightly in terms of the position he's in rather than him as a player. Szoboszlai's carrying that midfield for a large part of this season. I'm looking at those two areas and thinking, shouldn't they be priority over Semenyo? And I can understand why we would go for Semenyo because he's a great player, Premier League proven, output, creative, all of those kind of characteristics you associate with a winger who is good going forward, but also does a lot of work defensively as well. Mm-hmm. I can understand why we would be going for him, as well as obviously the release clause. When you consider that wingers like Garnacho, like Gittins, like Mohamed Kudus, Noni Madueke are all going for like 50 to 55 million. For 10 million more, you get a Premier League proven player in Semenyo. I understand it seems like it's a bit of a no-brainer. I understand why it seems, but again, I'm looking at it like if we can get Semenyo and a midfielder, Semenyo and a defender, fantastic. But I don't know how much our financials are going to stretch over the course of the winter transfer window. So I'm I don't know. I'm a little bit on the fence with this one, I've got to admit.
I'm more in reverse on how you feel about him. I feel like it somewhat is what we need, but then at the same time, he's not my first choice. I think what Semenyo offers, in the sense of he's direct, he's quick in the box, he can take the ball up the pitch. He definitely is going to help us in that sense because we do need someone who can press, someone who can lead the line, someone who can be direct into the box, someone who can be versatile across all three flanks. In that sense, we need Semenyo. He's just not my first choice. Who would be your first choice on the left-hand side that you would want?
Well, funnily enough, I was asked that question in the summer when obviously the whole Luis Diaz situation was kicking off. And I basically said, like, I would take Semenyo simply for the reason that I see him as in a similar position to when Sadio Mane was at Southampton. I think he's ready for that step up. I think he's ready to take on a bigger challenge at a bigger club, with all due respect to Bournemouth. I saw him as just that guy that is ready to step up. And I was like, he would be an ideal choice as a replacement for Luis Diaz. Obviously, it didn't work out that way, as of right now, at least. I also threw in Anthony Gordon when he was playing really well at Newcastle. I know he's dropped off a little bit since then. You mentioned Barcola. I like that idea, but is it realistic? I'm not sure. I just have a feeling that if we don't probably go in for Semenyo, there is a possibility that we could be looking back and going, this is another Kvaratskhelia moment. When Kvaratskhelia was at Napoli, obviously, we were heavily linked. We were interested. He obviously went to PSG. I think we missed the boat on that one, and that was a mistake. This could be another one, in my opinion, because I do rate him highly. I do really, really rate him highly, not just in an attacking sense and what he can offer going forward, but also what he will offer in a defensive situation as well.
Yeah, I think from all those attributes, I think it's very, very good. Do you think his GA is quite good? Because he can be very purple patch, and it's like, I would rather go for someone like a Barcola who can do what he can do and get me GA and pay the extra 20 million.
I understand what you're saying. I know that obviously recently his form has kind of dipped, but everybody's form at Bournemouth's kind of dipped. I know he scored last night, but I think that was like his first goal since, I want to say, October.
Yeah.
Double checking. Yeah, it was first goal since the beginning of October, should I say. So he has gone for a bit of, but I think around about that time, that was when the speculation was really starting, because I know he started the season off brilliantly. Obviously, he got a couple of goals against us. He got an assist against Wolves, and a goal and an assist against Brighton, 2 goals and an assist against Fulham. So he started off the season really, really well. And then the speculation came out. David Ornstein dropped the bomber about his release clause becoming now public knowledge. And it's sort of, I don't know whether it derailed Bournemouth's season or his season a little bit. But I don't know. Maybe it's a coincidence, or maybe the two did go hand in hand together. I just think that around, with all due respect to Bournemouth, better players, I think he'd thrive. I think he would really, really thrive with better players. But obviously, we're not the only ones interested in him. And obviously, we've got that tug of war to go down. You know, there's Arsenal that's interested, Man United, Chelsea, seemingly. So it's not a given. And especially where we currently are right now, it's even more of a bit of a fragile situation if we were to go down this route. But yeah, I really rate him, man. I really, really do.
For me, like someone says in the chat there, Rodrigo would be...
It would be a dream. The only thing I would say with Rodrigo is it would definitely depend on the Xabi Alonso situation.
I agree.
Because if Alonso's to go tomorrow and a new manager comes in, that new manager might take a real shine to Rodrigo, put him back in the team, make him a star man again.
I agree.
It would depend on that situation, especially if obviously we are in for Alonso as well. If we get rid of Slot because Real Madrid get rid of Alonso, we go for Alonso. Is he really going to go, yeah, we'll take him from my old team and then we'll put him into our team? I'm not 100% sure.
See, the thing is with Rodrigo, I think the only way we can tempt him is that he doesn't get enough minutes to what he deserves. I also think, to be fair, his GA this season, he's only scored 1 goal in 15 La Liga games. Like, that's actually quite stinky, if I'm honest. I just think, like, for me, I mean, obviously in the men's, like, the dream winger would be Elise. If we're all picking a winger, left or right, I think everyone's picking Elise every day, twice on a Sunday. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I just think, nah, I don't think Elise is possible. I don't know about you, bro.
Think, if it was last summer and we would continue in the same vein of form that we were hoping for this year, then it would be more possibility. But I think we might have again. I think we might have missed the boat on that because of our poor performance. Just on the Rodrigo thing, by the way, you say that he's got 1 goal in 15 appearances. He's only played 461 minutes in those 15 appearances. So it basically adds up to just over 5 games. So it's I know it looks bad, but when you take into consideration the minutes, it's I mean, it's still not amazing by any stretch of the imagination, but it just shows you how much of a bit part player that he has become at Real Madrid this season, especially.
I mean, yeah, I suppose when you look at it from that aspect and perspective, like the actual minutes have been quite poor in terms of just the overall appearances. I just think for what you're paying with Rodrigo, I just think you just get so much. I think it would just be like I would just love the deal to happen, man. Literally.
Yeah, I can understand. Wages as well would have to be considered. But
I'm gonna have a look how much he's on at Real Madrid because I feel like we could tempt him maybe with a wage decrease by like a little bit, and he becomes the main man at Liverpool because we need.
I know it. Sorry, you go. No, you go. I was just saying, like, it might. I was saying it might tie in with your title a little bit, but if it's like an astronomical amount of wages, would it tie in with potentially Salah leaving? Considering the pay packet that Rodrigo might demand and the pay packet that currently Salah is on.
I think for Rodrigo, you get him for about 80 million quid, and I think we can sell Salah for about 70, 80 million quid. I mean, according to the wages, he's only on 320,000 euros. Now, obviously, convert that to English pounds, it's going to be considerably a lot less. So I think in terms of wages, that's definitely, a possible one. I think so. In wages, he'll be on 280 grand a week. I mean, considering what we keep giving the likes of Cody Gakpo of this world. He's on 250. He's got a lot more in bonuses. You look at Ekatike, he's coming and got 200 plus. So I think, to be fair, paying that extra 80 grand for Rodrigo, and he might take him a 20, 30 grand decrease if he becomes the main man. Because we need that next star on the attack, although I do think we've got the next stars in Hugo Ekatike, Isaac, and Florian Wirtz. But then at the same time, I also want to be greedy because I feel like we just need. I think Liverpool need to go and get a big star right winger. And I don't know about you. I think the right wing market is actually quite dead.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons.
Beyond, I got to say, beyond Michael Elise, like, I know that wingers are like, oh, we can convert from left to right. We're very flexible and versatile in that aspect, but the majority of the best wingers are on the left, and the right wingers, like I say, with the exception of Elise and maybe like you say again, Barcola can turn up on the right, but he also on the left, Doué on the right or the left. Yeah, the right wing market isn't great. Outside of Saka as well, but obviously again, Saka's not going to be obtainable, so.
Yeah, it's also like, if this was a few years ago, I'd have taken Joe Bowen, if I'm honest, but not now. I just think with the market right now, January, I won't even say January is a difficult one to do. I just think we heavily missed out on Kvaratskhelia, man. Imagine if we just got him done. Like we would literally be laughing to the shop and back. But we are gonna have to probably settle for Semenyo. Do you think we'll spend big in January then? Do you think Semenyo will only be the only deal? Like, how do you feel about it? We are allowed to be greedy, by the way.
Yeah, because we weren't that in the summer, were we? The reports are suggesting that we are going all in for Semenyo, and I think that could just be because it's an open goal for us in terms of I don't think anybody else is going to have the financial backing to go in January as much as we have and as much as we potentially are going to do. So that could be good for us, because what you have to consider as well is, let's say Arsenal are interested, but Arsenal don't have the same finances that we do. In the summer, it's reported that Semenyo's release clause is going to be cut again to even less, which means there's going to be more interest in him, which means there are going to be more teams that are going to be trying to get him. So if we have the opportunity in January ahead of everybody else, we are potentially looking at that and going, we should take the opportunity now before we risk doing it again in the summer. Similar situation to Mark Gahey. We are obviously after Mark Gahey. If we go in the summer and just slap 20 to 25 million on the table to Crystal Palace and go take it or leave it, that could also be another signing that we make this summer. And let's face it, we definitely need to make another centre-back signing because, and again, Joe Gomez is injured. We've only got Konate and Van Dijk back there. We are a Van Dijk or Konate injury away from either Szoboszlai adopting another new position this season or just total panic, because I think even Endo's injured right now, I think. So we've got no one back there at all. So we have to go in for a centre-back, I think. But again, it's about what the club prioritises. And are they seeing this as a good opportunity for the future? That's seemingly the case. But what about the here and now? And the here and now is that I'm terrified of a centre-back pairing of Konate and Van Dijk, who have been hit and miss this season, to say the least, and also are one injury away from a complete catastrophe in terms of an injury crisis at the heart of our defence. So I reckon 2 signings at most, and it could be Semenyo and a centre-back.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. I was just look at the list of players that are actually out of contract in 2026. I'm thinking there's a couple of freebies on here, in my opinion. You know, you look at Upen and Carlo, like you said about we need a centre back. He's out of contract. Gahey.
Did Upamecano? I feel like I read recently Upamecano agreed personal terms with some. I can't remember who it was.
Real Madrid?
I feel like it was. I was going to say it's either Real Madrid or PSG. I feel like he's being scouted by one of them, so maybe he might be off the table.
Yeah, if not, then Gahey has to be the priority. Hopefully, Konate will still sign the contract. Ruben Neves is a player I'll actually take. I used to like him back in Wolves, the midfielder.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, that one. How old is he now?
I think he's like 27. On a free transfer, I don't think you can complain at that deal.
It's honestly, like I say, because we are going to need to re-energize our midfield a little bit, I think. So again, yeah, I agree. Not a bad take whatsoever.
Robertson's on this list. Do you think that's a player that would be interesting to see if we give a new contract to? Oh yeah, I'll definitely take Harry Maguire.
100%.
Try to think of this other players that I'll be like, yeah, I'll definitely have a look at you. Rudiger, nah, not for me. No. Fabinho. Harry Wilson for Fulham, wow.
Killing it right now.
Do you know who I would? Serge Gnabry's a player I'll take on a free, but I feel like his wages would just be stupid. And it's like, no, not for me. I don't know what his wages are saying. But for a free, for like a stopgap, that's a player I wouldn't mind actually looking at, to be fair.
Who's that, sorry?
I wouldn't mind looking at Serge Gnabry if his wages wasn't too bad.
Yeah. Again, it's another interesting one. 30 years of age now, been around a while.
Oh, maybe not.
Been there and won it all with Bayern. I don't know. If we're maybe desperate, could be something.
Desperate?
Shouldn't be. We shouldn't be. But let's see where we are at the end of the season.
I just think, you know, I'm definitely Gayhe's definitely on the list. I think Gay has to be a priority, and obviously, we've got to go back and try and get him, haven't we? Got to try and go back and get him because
if we don't, we miss out on him in the summer. It's as simple as that.
Like, I think he will leave. I think if he doesn't come to us, I think he'll go to Man City.
Gay to see.
Yeah, I've got a weird feeling about Gay.
I was thinking he would go abroad. I was thinking Bayern or something, especially if like Upamecano, he's gone. I was thinking, or like I say, Real Madrid as well. We know that Real Madrid after a centre back. If obviously Upamecano is the one to go to Real Madrid, then maybe that shuts that particular door. But I was thinking probably abroad because, like I say, we know Madrid are after a centre back. They've been after Canate for a while, but they obviously ended their interest there. So I was thinking one or the other, to be honest.
I'm going to make you an offer. Would you rather take Semenyo on his own in January or Gayhe on his own?
I would take Gayhe because I think we need Gayhe more than Semenyo. It doesn't solve all our problems. I don't think either of them solve all our problems, but I think Gayhe goes a longer way of solving our current problems than Semenyo does.
I agree. Would you take? Is there another player you would take instead of Gayhe in terms of like a position? Like for me, if you could sign one player, I'm signing Adam Wharton.
Again, another one that I absolutely adore and would love to see at Liverpool. I don't think we'll get him in January. I think we've got a stronger chance of maybe getting him in the summer if obviously we still have Champions League football by then at the very least. I would love Adam Wharton. I think one thing that we lack is just ball progression in the midfield. Like Gravenberch can do his little drop of the shoulder and turn, but McAllister's been off it. Soboslai's been playing in every other position other than his own. We just lack getting the ball to our forward players, and when we do, there's nothing there. There's no controller. There's nothing. Adam Wharton, I think, fits the bill perfectly. Someone that can actually go and get the ball and actually progress the ball forward. Wharton would be top tier priority for me. But like I say, I don't think we get him in January.
I think if I'm making predictions as to what I think happens with the transfer market, I think Liverpool sign Gayhe and Semenyo in January, and I think in the summer we try and get an Elliot Anderson or an Adam Wharton.
Yeah, I'll go more defensively with Adam Wharton, but I completely agree with you. I think that's the plan set out by Liverpool in January. Whether or not we get them now, considering where we are and how much more of a risk it is for them now than what it would have been in the summer, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe they've got their eyes on other clubs, other plans, that kind of thing. But I agree with you, man. Like, I think those are the two that we go for in January. Do we maybe switch targets potentially if obviously they turn around and go, thanks, but no thanks? I don't know who we would turn our attention to, especially in January where it's a bit awkward. But then again, it is a World Cup year. And if there are players out there that are currently not getting the game time and are a bit worried about their place at the World Cup for next year, that could also play into our hands as well. So it's going to be an interesting transfer window, a very interesting transfer, not just for Liverpool, but maybe the domino effect around us. So it's something that we have to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, it definitely is going to be interesting. I mean, I think Guehi's going to be a hot battle because you've got Man City, you've got Real Madrid, Bayern Munich. So it is going to be a tough battle. How much would you pay for Guehi in January, considering it'd be a free in the summer?
I would go no more than 25 million. I'd go no more than 25.
I don't even know if I'll pay that though, because we agree at 35. I think we can get him. I would pay maximum 20 million quid.
I think if we were top of the league, if we were top of the league and we were really, really confident that we would sign him in the summer, I think we would leave it until the summer. But I think because of the situation we're currently in, because of obviously how, we're kind of up and down right now, because of obviously Champions League not being even set in stone or anything like that, I think we need to go in for him. Whilst again, we may have the financials to do so and our opponents may not. Or our opponents are more confident that they can get him in the summer rather than pay a lot of money for him. And I agree, it's a lot of money, but I just think because we've messed up so much this season, we have to pay for our own mistakes, and that pay is going to be a lot of money towards Crystal Palace and Mark Guehi.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think because we if we don't get top 4. And you think, why didn't we just spend that extra 15 million? Guehi would have helped us got there. Semenyo would have helped us got there. We're going to be further behind than we already are. I mean, spending 420 million and we've regressed. It's quite mad, actually. Normally you go forward, not go backwards. But
only Liverpool Football Club.
Someone in my comments asks, any other centre backs you would take?
I like Mickey van der Ven at Tottenham. I know he's a bit injury prone, and that's the one thing that I would sort of be a bit cautious about. But I do like Mickey van der Ven at Tottenham. I think I think he'd be great, because I'm also looking at left-sided centre backs as well, because you've got to think Van Dijk, obviously 2 years left on his contract, or a year and a half now left on his current deal. So we need a bit of a contingency plan in place for him. So Van der Ven for me, I think would be decent. Like I say, Mark Guehi's like pinnacle, but I do like Van der Ven.
It depends on how much you want to pay, really, as well.
Yeah, that's also going to be a tricky.
Like, if it was up to me, I would just go and pay 120 for Gabriel, which I know is never going to happen. But I think Mickey van der Ven, yeah, that's an interesting one. I'm trying to think of like Bastoni would also be another one, but he's like the king of Italy. He's never going to leave.
Yeah, it's a bit like remember when we tried to sign Barella? Was it like last year or the year before? And it was like, oh, I kind of want to stay in Italy. It's kind of those players that you're like, they would be really great for us, but it's going to be difficult to get them out of their current place.
It's like knowing look, Man City would come in from and he'll go, just like when Arsenal got Zubimendi. It's like, you little butt. You wanted to stay, you did.
He wanted to stay for the paella, the mountains, and whatever else it was. And then in the end, oh, actually, London's all right. It's the same.
Yeah, I mean, he could have stayed near Chester, where there is a few mountains near Wales. So he could have had that, but no, he wanted.
Apparently not.
He wanted Big Ben.
Yeah.
Like the centre back is really interesting because Upa I would take. Schlotterbeck, I mean, I feel like if you go beyond your Schlotterbecks, you're kind of scraping at the bottom of the barrel. Especially if Canate leaves on a free, it's dark.
Especially because then we're going to have to buy
2.
At least 2, maybe 3 at most. Depending on what Gomez's situation is like as well. By then, he might not have any legs or hamstrings left. So,
I mean, I'll be honest. If Gomez leaves and Konate leaves, we're going to need to buy 4 centre backs because we already need 1 right now. So Konate leaves, that's 2. Gomez leaves, that's 3. Then you also want a Virgil van Dijk replacement if we're just being, extra.
Yeah.
Like then we need to get the Konate. Do you think Konate will stay? I've always remained consistent he will. I think I've just got a weird feeling.
If he plays like he did against Brighton the other day and constantly and consistently plays like that, I'd take him every day of the week. But he's been so frustrating to watch this season because it's stupid, brain dead errors, and he's making them constantly. That's the problem that I've had, and I've called him out on it multiple times. I mean, I've called out a lot of Liverpool players on my channel over the course of this season, but Konate for me has been just so stupid in some of the way that he's dealt with things for most part this season. But if he plays like he did against Brighton, I'd take him every day of the week. I'd sign him up to a new deal, but I'm just holding fire on Konate. And if I was a member of the club as well, I'd be doing the exact same thing. I'd be like, look, fantastic against Brighton. He played well in a couple of other games this season. But for the most part, he has been poor. So let's hold fire. Let's give him another couple of months or so, and then we'll try and then we'll reassess the situation because, like I say, there's a reason why Real Madrid pulled out their interest in him. And I know that we shouldn't just follow what Madrid do, but his performances haven't warranted a new deal so far, in my opinion. But again, if he plays like he did against Brighton, I'd be open to changing my mind.
It's also how much he wants in terms of the wages. They are a lot. 300k a week. To be fair, he has started to stay fit over the past 18 months. So I can't really bugger him when it comes to injuries anymore. But yeah, it's going to be really difficult, especially if Konate leaves. If Konate leaves, I'm going to worry a little bit. I don't know how people also feel.
Because then our senior centre-backs is basically Gomez, who's never fit. Van Dijk, who is near the end of his career rather than the beginning. And then Leone, who I feel like he would have got more minutes if obviously that horrible injury hadn't happened to him.
I would agree.
And he looked good as well. That's the annoying thing. He looked good in that. I know it was against Southampton, but he's a 19-year-old kid making his debut. He looked really good in that game. It was just such a horrendous moment of fate that caused that horrible injury
as well.
But
an ACL on your debut, so that must be peak.
The bad luck to have that is just insane, absolutely insane. But the hope there is that he'll come back and he'll come back stronger and he'll work his way through it. And let's face it, he's got someone who knows about that kind of injury in Virgil van Dijk that he can get help from and learn to recover from.
ACL as well.
So
there's a few players that's done those injuries. I mean, look, Mr. Injury centre back himself, Gomez can also put an arm around his shoulder.
Yeah,
he'll give him. He'll be like, look, listen. Say back in my day, it's happened to me all the time. I can ask me any questions you like about injuries, and I can definitely most likely answer them.
I mean, Yeah, I mean, the hope there is that he'll recover, he'll get, and maybe he'll kick on from there. But there's no obviously guarantee, especially with someone that young. I mean, injuries can derail players' progression. We've seen that happen over the years. So there's no guarantee. The hope is that he does come back, he does reach his potential. But yeah, there's no guarantee of that, which means we are practically down to just one senior centre back. And maybe Gomez, if either A, he stays, or B, he's fit. But again, there's no guarantee of that either.
No. Yeah, it is definitely going to be difficult. Definitely is going to be difficult. Sorry, bro, do you mind if you just hold the fort for like 1 minute while I just get quickly go to the toilet?
Yeah, go for it.
Cheers, bro.
So, what are we saying? Who would you guys take? Who would you guys take in the chat, defensive wise? Or is defense actually a priority for you guys? Do you actually see maybe midfield being better? Or should we just go for Semenyo? Should we just go gun ho, balls to the wall kind of thing and go for Semenyo? What are you guys saying in the chat? Schlotterbeck. Yeah. Not like I say, it's Schlotterbeck's not a bad idea, but I again, similar to what we were saying earlier about there might be better players out there than Semenyo. I feel like that might be a similar case of there might be better players in that position than Schlotterbeck, but not a terrible shout. Thoughts on Murillo at Forest? Yeah, that's one I actually overlooked. Last season, he was awesome. Last season, Murillo was awesome last season. Really, really rated. Really, really rated Murillo. This season, obviously, it's not quite played out so much, but I think part of the reason is because Nuno Espirito Santo, then what's his name? Ange Postecoglou, and then of course now Sean Dyche. So I feel like we may see the best of Murillo again. Especially because I feel like it would suit Sean Dyche's style more. But I do rate him. I do rate him. I don't know whether it's Liverpool level though. That's the only thing I will say. Having now seen it. Having now seen him. But yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. Just sub to your channel. Big up PL Champs 20. I'll just say your name as it is. Thanks for that, mate. I really do appreciate it. I don't know, man. Centre back, midfield, winger. I feel like they're all positions that need strengthening, but I wouldn't say my priority would be winger. I don't even want to give Slot the money to buy players. It's not really Slot, though. It's more the club that do it. It's more Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards that are more in charge of that. Slot, I think, has a say, but I think it's more on them. Slot just has to find a way to play them, which right now they don't seem to be going hand in hand with each other. Which is a shame because there's a lot of great players there. A lot of great players. Ugh. I'm just trying to think more centre backs.
I'm in the same agreement, to be fair. How do you feel about that?
I was just saying, I don't. It's not necessarily on Slot spending the money. It's more the club. and trying to work together to try and work all these players into a system that actually works. So yeah, it's about whether or not either Slot's going to adapt to the squad or whether the squad should adapt to him. I'm not 100% sure on that one, but either way, there seemed to be a miscommunication somewhere along the line where it hasn't quite worked out just yet. But we shall see going forward which one it is. And I don't think we'll really get the answer until maybe Slot leaves and we bring in a new manager. We won't know.
Oh, that is a centre back one. I won't mind Murillo, but again, Forest, I feel like they're just going to be so difficult to deal with. I just feel like they're going to want like
they'd want like 60, 70 million, wouldn't they?
Plus, and it's going to be like that's going to be a summer transfer. I think Liverpool need to do is get a deal. If Konate's leaving, you get a deal done in the summer and a deal done now. I think it'll be a disgrace if Liverpool don't buy a centre back in January.
Yeah, I would think that's a gross oversight from the club if we don't.
Yep. I feel like also it can't be a Kabak.
No. No, we don't want to go down that route again. Ben Davies and Kabak, no.
Because if we sign a Kabak, like on loan, or a Ben Davies for like £2 million,
oh god,
that's honestly never gonna play. It's gonna be like I'd rather you just didn't buy the money. Do you know what I mean? This is where I'm jealous of Arsenal because they've got in Hickpie, they've got Mascara, Saliba, Gabriel, like they've got stacks. And then there's us that are just like scavenging.
We play with traditional fullbacks though, or wing backs. Arsenal play with 4 centre backs across the pitch that can be interchanged to being fullbacks. I mean, at the weekend, I think Timber started as centre back, and then Ben White went off injured, so they had to reshuffle their entire back line. But because they're so flexible in doing that, they can do it. We don't play with inverted. We play inverted wing backs for whatever reason, and I don't understand why. Because Milos Kerkez is not an inverted fullback. He is best being wide left, where he can be an outlet for us, and he can whip the ball in with that incredible left foot of his. Instead, we try and move him narrow and closer to the goal than what our wingers are. It makes no sense to me. But that's where the depth of Arsenal comes in and where our depth stops, because we don't have the inverted fullbacks that they do.
We do need, like, during Timber would have been perfect a few years ago, especially when they only signed him for 40 million. And he's now the best right back in the world, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I can't think anyone else who's better than.
I think Chelsea fans might argue Reece James, but Reece James has sort of moved into this more inverted midfield role kind of thing. So I don't know where you would necessarily put him, but I think definitely Premier League wise, yeah, I agree with you.
No, you'll never hear me glaze Arsenal. But no, look, I feel like I would take any of Arsenal's centre backs, probably borrow Mascara because I just don't rate him as much. Yeah, I would have taken Calafiori. I would have taken Timber. Obviously, the other two as well.
My only issue with Calafiori is defensively, he's still suspect. Like he's got a fantastic finish on him. He's got a fantastic finish on him. He's good going forward, but Jesus Christ, like he. If I was an Arsenal fan, he would scare me defensively. He really, really would scare me defensively. I don't think he's I don't think he's quite all there defensively, in my opinion.
No, I can see and agree with your point there. I feel like also I would also look at I think someone mentioned Schlotterbeck. I mean, how much is he going to cost from Dortmund? I mean, Dortmund are a selling club.
Yeah, true.
That's. I mean, I reckon you could probably get. I don't know how old he is. I think he's like 23, 24. I think get him
having
for
a look
about,
now.
yeah, I think you could probably get him for.
Oh, he's 26.
Yeah, if he's costing you no more than 45 million, then yeah, get the deal done, I suppose.
He's 26, and if we were to go in for him in the summer, he would only have 1 year left on his current deal. So Dortmund might be open to selling him before losing him on a free the following year. So it could be something to maybe look at.
For 40 million quid with a year to go. That's basically Gahey from last summer, really.
All over again. And we'll still haggle for about 5 million here and there and still miss out on him on deadline day.
I know, we're proper like, you know that clip where that 50p slaps a 50p on the desk? That's Liverpool. And you go to Bossman, he's like, yeah, 50p, fuck you, I'm off. Like, I just think, you know what, sometimes, like, what annoys me about our club, we overpay with the players that, I don't know, it is like sometimes we overpay with the wrong players and the players that we actually do need to probably overpay.
Yeah.
Like Gahey, 40 million. Why did we? To be honest,
that seemed like the no-brainer. That seemed like out of all the transfers that we made, that seemed like the no-brainer one.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it like Premier League proven, strong, powerful, good in the air, despite he may not be the tallest, good positional awareness, and he's 24 years of age, Premier League proven player, captain of Crystal Palace, leader, does well on an international level. He ticks all the boxes. He ticks all the boxes that you could want from a defender. And we still went, well, if he's just shaved off like a couple of million, then we'd be really interested. Like, that's the no-brainer one you go for.
Yeah.
It just really did baffle me how we handled that one in hindsight. Because I was still under the impression that we would sign him. And then on deadline day, it was like, here we go. Oh, wait, hang on. No, they've decided to pull a U-turn on it. And then I was like, right, well, we missed out then. We messed up.
Because I remember I was at work in the morning of deadline day. One of the people that when I was at the workplace said, "Oh yeah, Gahey, here we go." I was like, "Yes, get in. I can now relax at work." I then finished work and Gahey deal would collapse. I'm like, "What? What's happened here then?" And I'm like, "Oh my god!" I think 35 million was enough if we'd have just paid it earlier. But for some reason, we thought, let's go in on deadline day. Let's make it all dramatic and.
Well, I think the plan is that the later we left it, the more that they'd panic about losing him on a free, and then they'd bring the price down a little bit, slightly how the Isak situation worked out. But it obviously didn't happen, and Palace called Liverpool's bluff a little bit. They're going to end up losing him on a free anyway, so they kind of lose. But if Gahey gets them or helps them get to Champions League this year, which obviously a bit of a long shot, but currently they are in that kind of position. Mm-hmm. If they get something out of it this season in terms of either winning the Europa Conference League, getting Champions League, maybe retaining the FA Cup or something, that will make up for losing Gahey on a free a little bit more, or at least it will soften the blow than what losing Gahey for a free will do.
Yeah, I agree. I think Gahey for 20 million gets it done in January. I think it does as well.
Yeah.
I think for 20 million quid, just if he's costing you 20 million and you're not paying it, then I'm sorry, but that's on you. That's completely on.
Unless, of course, the player has got it in his ear that there's a better option out there, like a Real Madrid or a Bayern Munich, maybe. Other than that, 20 to 25, like I say.
Yeah, I agree. Man said Calafiori and Virgil van Dijk aura defending is too much. I mean, Before, not to completely move on, I think one way that we can actually solve all our problems, maybe the sale of Mohamed Salah. How do you feel about? Obviously, give me what's your overall thoughts on Salah? Like, do you want him to leave? And then, like, how much do you think, would it be beneficial selling him?
I understand the benefits of selling Salah, even at this age. Saudi are interested. That his brand, his following would do absolutely wonders for their league, for their product. I get that. But for me, he deserves to go into the sunset at Liverpool Football Club. And I know that you can't necessarily always base it based on loyalty and things like that. It's one of the reasons why I always criticize Jurgen Klopp. I feel like he was too loyal to some of his players for too long sometimes.
I agree.
But for someone like Salah, who is not having the best of seasons, but he's still one of our better performing players outside of like Szoboszlai and Ekatike. He's still one of our better performing players, in my opinion. I just think he's been slightly let down by the players around him, mainly, like I say, the midfield and defence. I still think he's got a place here. I still think he has got an influence. I still think he's got the ability, the talent, the quality to obviously still maybe not be the same Mohamed Salah that dragged Liverpool to a title last season, but to be more of the team player, to adapt his game maybe slightly to fit the team. And I think that if he eventually gets that through to him, then he would definitely help this Liverpool team go on when obviously he's not here no more. I would keep him. I would definitely keep him, regardless of, what other people may say in terms of this whole taking sides thing after what has been a horrible circus this past week or two. I definitely keep him just out of loyalty and the player that he is right now. He's still a great player. He's still got, like I say, the talent and the quality. But this has not been a great couple of weeks for Liverpool. But at the same time, I can understand why. I don't know what you think about that. I don't know whether you're in the same position as I am. Like I say, I can see it from both sides, but I'd be leaning more towards keeping him.
It depends on how much we're selling Salah for, though. Like, if we're selling Salah for, like someone says in the chat, 60 million plus, it depends on what we're doing with the money. If we're selling Salah for, big up Zero in the chat, big up to my bro. If we're selling Salah for 60 million and we get, big up to, he's actually a Bayern fan. I would just take the money, maximum money, and say, look, Bayern Munich, Elise, what are you saying?
He's the only one that I think would be the ideal replacement.
I do think Liverpool want him badly, though. And I thought, the thing is, everyone said Isak was a difficult deal.
Isak was only made difficult because Newcastle were making it difficult.
Would Elise do that? I don't know.
What's the release clause on Elise in the summer?
Let me have a look, because I believe there is a release clause.
I know a lot of people were talking about. I think it's like in the region of 75, 80 million, isn't it? Or am I just plucking those numbers out of thin air?
Some sources said that there is no release clause, and
I know it's very conflicting.
Release clause.
Yeah, I was going to say, because it's very conflicting. Because I know some people say there is, some people say there isn't, and there are credible sources on both sides. So I'm not 100% convinced.
I think if you go to Bayern Munich and say 100 million, I think they sell. Because Bayern, they're not a poor club, but they can't afford to pay big bucks to players. at the same time.
I think it also depends on what Elise wants as well. Like,
surely he would want to come back to the Premiership.
I feel like he's got unfinished business in the Premier League. He may obviously want to go somewhere else other than the Premier League. Other than Liverpool. But of course, like I say, he's got. I feel like he's got unfinished business there.
I've been on the Elise train for months, and I don't think I'm going to get off the train just yet. I just think who are we going to get at right wing if Salah leaves? Because we're not. It's not 2021. We can go and get Jao Bowen.
But I'm also thinking. I know that the German league is heavily dominated by Bayern, but I'm also thinking that if Harry Kane leaves Bayern as well this summer, which reportedly again is very possible, would Bayern be okay with losing both Kane and Elise in the same transfer window? I think it's another factor to consider. I don't know, man. This is the thing we said earlier. The right wing market is not that great.
It is shit. I think what Liverpool might do is they buy Semenyo. They might keep Salah, depending on how he does this season, if he goes on a free or not, right? And they just wing it for one season only. Keep Gakpo, Isak and Ekitike, Semenyo. Also, Wirtz will also chip in Chiesa potentially as well. And then we just think, you know what, 2027, we just go all out for Elise.
Assuming that someone doesn't get there before us.
Yeah, is his release says 2027? So wait, his contract's up in 2 years?
No, I thought it was 2029.
If his contract's up in 2 years, then
that might change things.
That is interesting. Surely not. If it's a
transfer market's got it down as 2029, it expires.
So wait, why is people saying the chat 2027? Let me see. Yeah, 2029, but then some people think a release clause is in 2027.
I mean, that could be when it might become activated.
If that's the case, then I would wait.
Similar to how we've got a buyback clause on Jerome Kwanzaa.
Yeah.
Which, again, could be another centre-back we consider, to be fair, with how well he's done.
Yeah, to be honest, I actually wouldn't mind doing that.
I don't know why we got rid of him in the first place, to be honest. Like, it seemed a bit harsh how he was treated, but yeah, going back to the right wing thing, with not obviously including the unobtainable ones like your Bukayo Saka's, for example, the right wing market absolutely stinks. Absolutely stinks, in my opinion. Which is why I think maybe a lot of teams might go towards more of a narrow-minded, inverted right winger. You know, like how sort of Wirtz took on that role at Leverkusen.
Mm-hmm.
That could be how we look at it and go, right, we'll play with like a inverted inverted winger kind of thing. 2 number 10s, maybe that kind of system. I don't know.
But we definitely need to do something because that right wing market's actually on its knees. Because Saka, you ain't getting. Yeah.
Esteval, you're not getting.
You're not getting.
Elise, probably not.
Nah. Look, I've got a weird feeling that Liverpool will sign Elise one day. You know what Liverpool are like? When they like a player, they're obsessed. They're like a guy in a club. They just don't stop pestering. Like they might not get in the first time, but they will keep going and going and going until the point where it's like, no. I mean,
I'm not denying that we have interest, and I'm not denying we will pursue it. I am just worried that another team will get there before us. I'm worried like a Man City will get there before us. I'm worried a PSG might get there before us. You know, someone like that, for example.
Look, you're probably right in the sense of we're not getting Elise, but people say I'm deluded. So I'm going to run with Elise to Liverpool till the dream's off. I always thought Elise would go to like a Chelsea or United, you know, when he was at Palace. Because didn't he almost agree to go to he almost agreed to go to Chelsea, didn't he? He never wanted Bayern Munich.
I feel like it was like
Never
personal
wanted
terms
Bayern.
agreed, close, and then Bayern swooped in and hijacked the deal, wasn't it? Or something along them lines.
Yeah, I swear Bayern didn't even pay that much. They paid like peanuts.
I think they did pay less.
Like they paid like 40 million. It's like, oh, go away. How have you managed that? Who would have won Bayern? Yeah, Bayern are a mid club, aren't they? Never learn. But we spend big money. We do spend big money. Madrid, you're not getting Elise. We'll see, innit? Elise joined us because we pulled up versus United and Chelsea and he wanted UCL. Yeah, but I reckon if those clubs was in the UCL brackets, he would have probably said very much easy to Man United or Chelsea. I don't think Bayern Munich would even be in a conversation for him. I think he would be like, yeah.
I think he would have. I think it's basically just location. I think he would have stayed in the Premier League.
Yeah, I think he would have gone. He would have gone to Man United or Chelsea. Ain't no way he would have gone to Bayern over them. I don't think you'd turn down them two clubs, if they're in the Champions League. It's like Liverpool. If they're in the Champions League, you don't turn them down. You know, it's also. I think I'm trying to think. I think there's a few more clubs he was interested in. Do you think Elise is the best right winger in the world right now?
Again, the right winger market isn't exactly, you know, deep with quality. It's difficult to kind of find someone who's better than him. Arsenal fans would probably say Saka, but even then, Saka hasn't. I know he's been good. I know he's been consistent, even when maybe the output hasn't been there. But it's hard to say that Elise isn't the best right winger right now.
For me, I still have Yamal. Then I go Elise.
It's a good shout.
It depends on what you want, though. It depends on what you want in a winger. When it comes to the two, I just think, yeah, the right wing markets, it's actually so dross. Like you go from Elise and Yamal, obviously Salah from last season, and then who the fuck? I mean, Mbeumo's good.
If he was still at Brentford, yeah.
Yeah, Mbeumo for 20. To be honest, I wanted Mbeumo. If I was being greedy, I would have took Mbeumo.
I wouldn't be surprised if we started to see more traditional right wingers, because considering that everybody is seemingly right-footed that plays on the left now, that's actually good, and the right wing market's poor. I wouldn't be surprised if we just started seeing more traditional right wingers, to be honest.
Mbeumo end the stream. Mbeumo's a good player. Would you not agree Mbeumo's a good player?
I rated him at Brentford. I had question marks over certain aspects of his game, but yeah, he was really, really good, and I was a bit annoyed that United got him over Newcastle in the summer. To be honest, I thought like I always don't want a good player to ever go to Man United, so a little bit annoyed by that, but yeah, I can't lie. And Mbeumo, very good player.
Yeah, there is a lot of graveyard attackers right now. Like if your top 5 right wingers, you're probably saying Elise, Yamal, Mbeumo, I would take Doué, and Saka, yeah. After that, you're clutching at straws. You're clutching at like some real. You then. I remember in the summer, some people in the Liverpool community were like, "Oh yeah, I would take Kulusevski," and I'm like, "What? You really think I'm going to deal with Daniel Levy in the summer? Even if Kulusevski should be cheap or not, ain't no way I'm dealing with Tottenham." The only player I'll deal with Tottenham to get a player off if Mickey van der Ven could actually stay fit.
Yeah.
Shame we sign good players every year. No, you don't. You don't. Who have you signed year in year out that are quality? Yeah, Rodrigo, but
Semenyo and Rodrigo.
yeah, he has left Tottenham, but in the moment in time, he didn't leave Tottenham in the summer.
Mm.
Hence why he was at Tottenham in the summer. And then he left. What was it like September? So
Yeah, it was the international break, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, at the current time, Daniel Levy was there. Yeah, and like people in the chat were saying, yeah, I would take Kulusevski, I would go to Brennan Johnson. I'm like, have some standards in it.
I like Kulusevski, but he's not. I don't think he's Liverpool standard. And Brennan Johnson, I've never rated. The fact that Tottenham paid 50 million, around about 50 million for Brennan Johnson, was absolutely laughable at the time. Yeah, I don't get that one at all, to be honest. He's got pace. That's it. Brennan Johnson has pace.
Oh, don't mention pace because all the Liverpool community will get gassed up over Adeyemi again. Adeyemi, like, what? Yeah, he's good on FIFA. Is he good in real life? No.
I fell into that trap a little bit. I was like, I rate this kid. And then I was like, okay, does he have a bit more to his game? He's got good work rate. Okay, but does he have good output? I was waiting for that output to come, and the output never really came, unfortunately. But there you go.
Yeah, I mean, look, on the right wing market. So let's say if you got offered 60 million in January, are you selling Salah? Or are you saying no?
No. I think right now, current position we're in, Salah staying is better for Liverpool than getting rid of him for 60 odd million.
Would you sell Salah right now for Elise?
Longevity wise, yes.
I would sell Salah. I reckon we can still get nearly 100 million. Because you have to think, right? He had 1 year left on his contract in 2023, yeah?
Yeah.
Al Ittihad offered us literally 200 million and we said no. It's not like Salah is just the average player on the right wing market. He's not. He's obviously a Muslim, you know. He would go over there and he would be a Ronaldo-esque signing. He would be up there with the Ronaldo signing, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you think of all the image rights they could have over him, all the sponsorship, the brand deals, and also he could go there and rip it up for 4 years. You could do 3-4 years and then retire, get a fat wage, and then sail off into the sunset. So, and plus, I don't think personally he's still on the decline. I think he's still got a lot left to give in Europe. I think the system is massively hindering him. And I think, for me, I still think we can get about north towards 80 million for him.
I go along with that. I don't know if that kind of price tag changes a little bit with what's obviously taken place these past couple of weeks. Hopefully, it's all water under the bridge. Everything, well, not everything, but the majority of stuff is now mended before he went to AFCON. Because otherwise, I was saying last week when obviously shit hit the fan, like I was saying, the Saudis are sat there right now looking at this and going, well, we can get him for cheaper now. You've got an unhappy player who is on 400k a week who you seemingly want to get rid of now. We'll just sit back. You either take what we offer you in January, which is going to be a cut price to what we were originally going to offer, or you keep him for another 18 months or so. You pay him 400k a week, and we take him off your hands on a free transfer at the end of it. Now that seemingly things have healed, maybe we are back in the ascendancy in terms of having a stronger negotiating position. Should we, of course, try to sell Salah in January? But we shall obviously time will tell on that one.
Yeah, I've got about a few days ago. I thought, yeah, he's gone. See you later. But then obviously Fabrizio came out and said, yes, Saudi still want him, but the relationship is on the men's. I think he might go in the summer instead, because I feel like his farewell would have been a lot more upsetting on Saturday. Like he would have been probably walking around the stands crying, a bit more emotional. He was in kind of happy spirits, and it didn't really look like a man that was leaving the football club.
He deserves that as well. He doesn't deserve to leave midway through a season. He deserves to see it out.
100.
100%. Just see out. If he wants to stay that final year and then move on afterwards, again, I can't fault him. He's done so much for us, done enough for us and the Premier League, and everything that he's won in between, whether it be as a club or individually, that he can choose whatever he wants. And whatever he wants to do, I personally fully respect and I back it, and I get where he's coming from. So yeah, he deserves that kind of riding out into the sunset, in my opinion, whatever he decides.
Yeah, I'm in a full agreement with you, to be fair, mate. Do you think, so just to like recap, so you think for transfers, Gahey in January, is that your prediction?
Gahey, yeah, 100%.
Do we sign Semenyo?
It's the kind of signing that we would do. Would I personally do it? I'd have reservations, but I feel like for all the reasons that I mentioned before about how this is seemingly an open goal for us over everybody else. And if we go right in the summer, it's going to be cheaper, more interest, more money is going to be available to all these other teams. We might as well go for it now whilst we have the opportunity to do so. So I think we do as well.
And not what your heart or head says, just what do you think? Does Salah leave in January?
No.
I think Salah won't leave in January, and I think we get Semenyo and Gahey in January. That's what I personally think. And then in the summer, I think we sign one of the two. Maybe, I don't know, maybe another type of player. We will sign an Adam Wharton, Elliot Anderson type of player. Whether we sign one of them two, I don't know. But I do think it will be someone along the reasons of one of them. I wouldn't mind Baleba, even despite he's still having a poor season.
I like Baleba, to be fair. Like you said, he's having a bit of a poor season. Is that down to maybe mentality? Because, of course, he was seemingly or reportedly had his heart set on a move to Manchester United, which obviously didn't happen. So is that a mentality thing that he's not quite recovered from that? Or is it or is there something deeper going on? Is it a team issue? Or is it just how young he is that obviously he's going to go through some rough patches here and there? I don't know, but I'd be hoping that Liverpool, if they were to go in for someone like him, would obviously do their homework, do their research, go really in depth and find out what the problem is there with Baleba. Because last season, he was an absolute monster in that midfield. This season, he's not quite been the same.
Yeah, I agree, man. I completely agree. And last prediction, will Arne Slot get sacked this season? Do you think he'll ride it out?
And what I mean,
I don't think he'll get sacked. I think he might ride it out to the end of the season, because if he's getting money to spend in January, and now he's gone on a bit of an unbeaten run, yeah, I don't really have much hope.
Yeah, it's hard to tell with Liverpool right now. It's hard to tell whether like this run is going to continue or whether it's like a bit of a ticking time bomb and it's only going to blow up again. I'd like to think that if he is given money, it doesn't matter because we have a project in place that's not based purely on the manager, but it's purely based on the vision of the club, so that the manager that comes in will suit the club and suit the squad regardless. So I'd like to think that if we were to go out and spend big on Semenyo, it's for both Arnie's slot and for the next manager that comes in. It's not just purely for slot, and then we go, right, we'll bring in a new manager. He may not like Semenyo, so Semenyo's straight out the door. I like to think it's a bit of both. But yeah, the more that I think about it, he should have gone after Man United, in my opinion. He definitely should have gone after either Nottingham Forest or PSV. He stayed this long. I think it will be the summer as well. Now that enough time has passed where you could have easily got rid of him, I think it will be the summer. Or it will be at a point where Liverpool's season's completely over, so that we can't really challenge for anything, or we're out the Champions League, or we're out of the FA Cup as well. It really depends on the kind of run we get in those competitions, I think.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully not. Hopefully not, mate. Fingers crossed. But yeah, before we wrap up, mate, do you want to shout anything out at all? Because, I think you're very. I actually just checked because obviously we pinned it. Chat, please subscribe to Captain Fletch. He's now 7 away from 1K.
Thanks very much, guys. Appreciate that.
So hopefully we get you the 1K before Christmas.
Yeah, it looks like we are going to hit that target. So fingers crossed on that. Like I say, can't thank enough for the love and support. Really, really great, and thank you for having me on. Pleasure. It's been really, really fun. Yeah, you can find me Captain Fletch on YouTube, or I somewhat dabble in on X. I'm kind of hit and miss with that, to be honest. I'll put out some things some days and then I'll go quiet for like a week or two. But Fletch1296 on X as well, or Captain Fletch on YouTube, whichever one. Yeah, really do appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Awesome
Always,
show.
Man. Yeah, we'll have to reschedule some and we'll do something on your channel as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You
obviously got me on X anyway.
Sorry?
Yeah, you've obviously got me on X anyway, so.
Yes, yeah, I've got you now. So we'll definitely sort something out in the near future, hopefully.
Yeah. Are you doing any personal shows this week?
Just trying to think what I've got in mind. Probably go live either tomorrow or Thursday, one of the two, talking more Liverpool stuff. Probably looking ahead a little bit to this weekend's game against Tottenham. Premier League prediction show that I do regularly is also coming up, which is not live stream but just video. Mm-hmm. And then obviously we are entering that mid-season period, so I might do some mid-season content like team of the season so far, that kind of thing. So yeah, I try and post daily on there, or I try and go live, one of the two every day. So I try and put something on the channel every day. So yeah, really appreciate it.
Yeah, 100 man. Yeah, you're welcome on the channel anytime. My next stream, I've got a stream in about 50 minutes. I've got another Liverpool fan coming on, and yeah, we're going to be debating some stuff. So yeah, it's definitely gonna make sure you stick out for that. I'll redirect to that so people can just smash a like on it, or do all those good things. But I appreciate you coming on, mate. Really do appreciate it, and yeah, we'll definitely we'll have you on again very, very soon.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Really appreciate it. And like I say, whether it's my channel or your channel, really would love to do this again. Been a really fun. How long we've been live for now? Like hour and a half, just over.
Hour and a half, yeah.
Yeah, been a really, really good hour and a half. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Bless up to you, my bro. And yeah, big up the chat. Make sure you smash a like, subscribe to both channels. Get Captain Fletch to 1K. I'm one sub of 2,500. So hopefully the 2,500 will be massively hit, because I always said I wanted to get that before Christmas. We're now fully we're one sub away. We could very much hit that at any second. So I guarantee there is someone watching that has not clicked the subscribe button. And yeah, if you've not subscribed to my friend, make sure you subscribe to him, get into the 1K as well. YouTube is a hard grind at the start. And yeah, with people's support, you can, very much achieve and accomplish the targets that you definitely do set out to achieve. But yeah, man, bless up to everybody in the chat. I'll see you on the next stream. Thank you for coming on, bro. Take care,
Appreciate it, man. Yeah,
And,
same to you, my dude.
Yeah, up the Reds as always.
Up the Reds as always.
Elise, please.
Fingers crossed.
Take care, guys.